Hey everybody, welcome to my show and to my channel. I hope everybody's week is going decently well, or just very well. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way, of course. This show is brought to you by absolutely no one other than myself, but this is more for you, YouTube. Just wanted to let you know. Everything that proceeds from this point is complete bullshit. It's an utter lie, total farce, completely made up. The news articles that you're going to see, they're just a figment of your imagination. It's all in Minecraft. And here's your glass of milk. I'm cupping your balls. It's a horrible nightmare. I'm going to pat you on the butt while you go back to sleep. Okay? You guys have a wonderful evening. And I hope that this nightmare is over very quickly. Now that that's over with, sorry. Look, congestion. It's that time of year where all the pollen's in the air or whatever. So this is actually encroaching onto the point to where I started training last year. For those of you that have been following me since the beginning, I started training sometime in late August last year. It was actually a little before I started the YouTube channel, but so I'm getting kind of excited because I'm coming to my year mark, and it's gonna be interesting because last year I was in completely different shape, and that's when I stopped making excuses about doing things, and then I made the decision to start the YouTube channel. So, I got a trash bag back here. Went shopping a little earlier. Anyways, let's get to our first story, shall we? We have McCarthy over here making himself known again as a complete and utter rhino. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what a rhino is basically a Republican that has decided to hide in a skin that is not Republican. I forget what the acronym stands for. It's like Republican in something, but who cares? Doesn't matter. Basically means a fake Republican. So here we go. I vote for aid for Ukraine. I support aid for Ukraine. Kevin McCarthy folds. We'll fund Ukraine NATO war on Russia. Kevin McCarthy gave his full support funding the Ukraine war during his trip to Israel. Speaker Kevin McCarthy gave his. This is Gateway Pundit. I think I've got two from Gateway Pundit today, which is rare because I don't like them that much. But, I mean, we got quotes and we got references, so I like it. Speaker Kevin McCarthy gave his most full-throated – that's just wrong – support for aiding Ukraine. I'm going to highlight that. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? From now on, when I say things and I ask questions, I'm like, was that full-throated? Was it full-throated? Full-throated support for aiding Ukraine in its war against the Russian invasion. In a heated exchange with a Russian news agency reporter in Jerusalem, McCarthy has in the past called for further scrutiny of aid to Ukraine, responding in part to far-right members of the GOP who have been critical of the U.S. aiding Kiev. Former President Donald Trump, the frontrunner to be the Republican nominee again in 2024, has also made critical comments about the U.S. effort to defend Ukraine. 1 second, guys. I totally forgot that I left the fan on. Give me 1 second. I was like, where's all this back feed coming from? Anyways. The speaker on a trip to Israel was asked by a reporter from a Russian news agency if the U.S. will curtail aid to Ukraine. I vote for aid for Ukraine. I support aid for Ukraine, McCarthy said. I do not support what your country has done to Ukraine. I do not support for killing of the children either. Children die in war, dumbass. That's what happens. I don't know what this guy's doing. Enlarged prostate. Okay. When I see pictures like this, I always remember those like YouTube videos where they're like going in the ear and removing like bad wax. You should pull out, and I don't think it's right, the speaker said. We will continue to support, and I think the rest of the world sees it just as it is. I don't think so, bro. I think you're wrong on that one, man. Then it's just a bunch of bullshit after that. So, okay, now if you guys aren't up to date on this, McCarthy was supposed to be the Republican frontrunner for Speaker of the House. I believe it was 15 times he was voted down, 13 or 15. Does it really matter when it's past 3? And they basically made him swear that he wasn't going to become some kind of rhino, basically, which he already was. Well, he might say that the rest of the world supports the attack on Ukraine, but that's not true. Here's the problem with that, Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Zelensky is a fucking psychopath. This is the same dude that said that the daughters and sons of America will also bleed on his land, or however the fuck he said it. I'm misquoting him, honestly. It's also the same guy that said that he wanted to use our short-range, impact nukes to bomb Moscow. The ones that have low yield. They only kill a couple million people. And I gotta say, with what's currently been going on, especially with the way not just society, but just the government in general has been betraying everyone and kind of betraying the world. I would have to say that that's pretty fucked up. And the Ukraine war exists right now simply because of the Biden administration. We funded Russia by closing down our oil pipelines and buying oil from them and opening up their oil pipelines. So, it's not really a good thing whenever we're sitting here supporting the Ukraine war, whenever we're the ones that helped start the war in a roundabout way. Granted, we didn't say, hey, Russia, go, but now we have boats outside of Taiwan from China too. I'm just saying, some things might be a little weird right now, and everybody might be going, oh, well, that's kind of odd, or not everybody, but some people might, but no. Supporting Ukraine is not going to help us in any way, shape, or fashion. It's not going to help us get a bunch of oil either. All right. Everything is always about oil or power in some way, shape, or fashion. So, anyways, sorry, McCarthy, but that's a big loss for you. And you just basically showed everybody that you're just a bitch and you gave in. So, all right. So this one is a new one. This is one I have not seen on the news. I have not seen anyone reporting it. Everyone's talking about the collapse of the banks. They're talking about Dylan Mulvaney and all that shit. But here's something that broke, like within the last day. I believe this broke on the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, May 2nd, 2023. New World Health Organization pandemic initiative uses listening surveillance systems to identify misinformation and rumors. Now, this one is pretty damn important because they're basically using a plague / virus / whatever that wasn't as serious as they made it out to be the reason why we should have surveillance in order for us to find viruses that we don't need to worry about that could possibly happen, but we don't know for sure. And it gets better because Biden's behind it or Biden supports it. One of the two. Who gives a shit at this point? All right. A new pandemic prevention initiative by the World Health Organization will rely on social listening surveillance systems to identify rumors and misinformation. War Room can reveal. The initiative, Preparedness and Resilience for Emerging Threats, PRET, seeks to guide countries in pandemic planning while incorporate the latest tools and approaches for shared learning and collective action established during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's basically a really complicated way of saying that we can look at you and listen to you whenever the fuck we want to try to keep you from spreading bad things about viruses and shit that don't exist, that we want you to be afraid of. This is just another fear-monger tactic. Internal documents from the United Nations, UN. I remember a joke a buddy told me, but I can't say that out loud. Agency, however, reveal a variety of invasive tactics deployed to suppress the spread of alleged misinformation. Really? I never thought that would ever happen. The WHO is pushing for member states, including the U.S., to adopt these suggestions when developing or updating their respiratory pathogen pandemic plans. Module 1 of the initiative's blueprint describes, give me 1 second, guys. All right. And there we go. All right. Infodemic is the overabundance of information accurate, not in which is makes it difficult for individuals to adopt behaviors that will protect their health and the health of their families and communities. The infodemic can directly impact health, hamper the implementation of public health countermeasures, and undermine trust and social cohesiveness. The PRET document continues before identifying a variety of tactics to hamper the spread of posts contrary to mainstream and public health narratives. Establish and invest in resources for social listening, surveillance systems, and capacities to identify concerns as well as rumors and misinformation, argues the WHO. So basically, they're trying to say, well, it helps with us figuring out who's going to spread misinformation. What misinformation was actually spread during the COVID virus? What was? Please explain it to me. Okay, we told you guys, all of us conspiracy theorists out there, we were like, the numbers don't make sense. They don't add up. Okay, where's all the dead bodies? Where's all the people being hauled off in body bags? Where's the truckloads of people being hauled away? If 1,000 people a day were dying in New York, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that 250 bodies could fit in the back of a diesel truck cooler, okay, which I don't know if it's that much, but I'm just guessing here. All right, that would be 4 diesel trucks full of bodies. Where were they? We never saw them. There's no evidence of them. There's no videos of them. There's no truckloads of people being hauled away. So again, I'm trying really hard here to understand exactly why you need to survey the entire country for misinformation. I mean, what misinformation was actually spread? That the antivirus was not an antivirus. That the jab was nothing more than just bullshit that took 3 months to make. I mean, again, to stress this point home, we've known about Ebola since the 50s. We don't have an antivirus for Ebola. I mean, that's killed a lot more people than freaking COVID has, hasn't it? I guess check my facts on that one, but I mean, it makes sense because it's been around for a long time. But my point is that Ebola is supposed to be one of the most deadly viruses ever discovered in mankind, and we don't have an antivirus for it. So what exactly is the misinformation here that we're talking about? New tools and approaches for social listening have been deployed using new technologies such as artificial intelligence to listen. That's a great idea. To listen to population concerns on social media, such as the platform Ears developed by WHO, explains the PRET Initiative report. The paper also suggests testing out these strategies during acute respiratory events, including seasonal influenza, and involving the public and private sectors. Now, I don't need to read the rest of this because it's kind of bullshit, but to give you guys an example of this stuff, to give you an idea of what's going on. How you doing, LA Warriors? Sorry about the dogs barking earlier, but they get let out and they go crazy. Sorry guys, they get so loud when they get let out. So to give you guys an idea of what's going on, like even in my neighborhood, they have now put cameras at the entrance and exit of every single location for my neighborhood. So when you drive out, there's a camera that catches your license plate. And when you drive in, there's a camera that catches your license plate. They didn't ask our permission. They didn't get a vote from us. They're just doing it. They're watching us. There's cameras around every corner. There's cameras in all of the locations where you go to banks, your ATM machines. Anytime you roll through a street light now, they got cameras on them. Cameras are everywhere. So if the WHO really wants to with this, they could just tap into all of our stuff and just basically just watch us whenever they want to, for misinformation. But again, exactly what misinformation are we talking about here? Exactly what happened? Exactly what is it you guys are trying to keep from happening again? Okay, and remember this also. It's not like we had this immediate action happen in the USSR that turned it into the USSR. Okay. Like the USSR became what it was because people did not pay attention. Communism and Marxism spread when people do absolutely nothing. And they're just like, oh, it's okay. It'll get better. The government will eventually give us back power. All right. The government never relinquishes power. That's why they're doing this. They're doing this because they know that they've let us, or that we've let them actually push forward and push forward and push forward. and we're not doing anything to stop them. All right, even guys like me making podcasts don't mean shit. We don't mean anything when it comes to this because it's just us talking on the screen. I mean, if the people that are put in charge of our protection and the people that are put in charge of order for our country don't give a shit about our freedoms and don't give a shit about, the Constitution or the flag for that matter, or what it means to be an American, they're never, ever going to give a shit about about us. It's just not going to happen. So you might say to yourself, oh, it's not that bad. We still get our lattes. We still got all of our ice cream. Come on. It's not that bad. It is that bad. You guys just don't want to pay attention to it. So there are people that are waking up. There are people that are starting to see the stuff that's happening. But generally speaking, on most of these situations that we run into, it's not that. People just don't seem to give a shit when it comes to it. So anyways, moving on. Next one. This is these next two are just going to be some Twitter things. All right, here we go. All right, so as you can see here, let me pause this real quick because this is kind of important. We're going to take it off of mute. There we go. All right, it's not playing. I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it?
And the funny thing is, I
can't hear it. Why is it not playing? My volume's up, isn't it? And my volume's at 100.
Chuck Todds of the.
Huh, weird. Okay. I listened to it earlier. Was it a different one? Okay. Well, he was talking to him, and I heard him talk to him. I listened to the whole broadcast earlier. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I did it again, didn't I? Yes, I did. I didn't check the headphones. Okay. Pause, rewind, and here we go.
And the funny thing is, take the Chuck Todds of the world, okay? A lot of the left said for years that the sex of the person that you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. That was the core premise of the gay rights movement. And yet now they say your own biological sex is completely fluid over the course of your life. Those two things cannot make sense at the same time unless you're subscribing to a sort of cult. And that's what this LGBTQIA plus movement has become. It's not about logic. It's a cult, which is why, Sean, I like going on those programs. Don Lemon, Chuck Todd, you name it. I like going on and having that debate on the other side's home turf
like
and
on
winning.
This show a lot
That's
better.
what we're going to do.
This is fun.
What he's talking about is if you go back to when they started talking about people that were born gay, people that were born. This was the gay movement. This started in the 80s, kind of proceeded forward. In the gay movement, it was said that you're born a specific way, that you are born attracted to men, okay, or you're born attracted to women. It doesn't matter whether you're straight or gay, right? But you're just born that way. So now the trans movement, look what it says right here, trans movement. Your sex is entirely fluid, even though there is a definite sex chromosome. LGBT movement, you must believe in both of these things at once or else you're a bigot. And they conflict with each other. They basically cancel each other out. They don't really do anything. They don't really make, they don't really make sense with each other. Okay. So all he's saying is that when they did the gay movement, we're like, okay, if you're born and you're attracted a certain way, all right, we don't care as long as you're not fucking hurting anybody, right? Trans movement comes out and says, you have to like us and you have to give us our space and you have to give us the things that we want. If you don't, then you're a bigot. And if you don't believe in everything that we're saying and you argue with us at all about anything that we're saying, you're a bigot and we have the right to do physical harm to you, regardless of who you are and what you do. That's simple. So yeah, that's the loveliness of that one right there. All right, guys, I got one more for you before we go. This is another Gateway Pundit. This is how low we have set the bar, guys. This is how far we've gone. This is very, very bad. This is just leftist on TikTok. Leftist on TikTok whine over American standing for the national anthem at a restaurant. Conservatives respond. Yeah, this is weird. Okay, so these people are, to give you some context, these people are actually sitting at a restaurant and the national anthem comes on. For those of you from foreign countries, the national anthem is our song. We all stand up, we put our hands over our heart, we take our hats off, and we sit while the song is played. Okay? All right. There is an old saying that liberals think every day is a tax day, while conservatives think every day is the 4th of July. Today's woke leftists loathe the very foundations of America. A Gallup poll from last year shows only 26% of Democrats are extremely proud to be an American. America's enemies have sought to amplify the left's hatred of America in various ways. One example is Chinese-run TikTok. Very good example for those people out there that will not get rid of their TikTok. It is owned by China. We've talked about this before. If you support TikTok, you support China. Fox News reported Tuesday that liberals on the platform erupted in a seething rage at the sight of a dozen Americans standing for the national anthem at Rainbow Oaks Restaurant, a Fallbrook, California eatery. Okay, and this is it. This is what she says. This is so scary to me because standing in the middle of a restaurant for the national anthem, or is this the Pledge of Allegiance? Either way, they don't even know the difference between the national anthem or the Pledge of fucking Allegiance. That's how horrible these fucking people are. Okay. Either way, while other patrons are trying to eat, it's so awkward to me. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. All right, look at her picture. She's an emo. Look at that. I would dead arse would not know how to react to seeing this. This is so fucked up. And they're not standing. And I wonder if they understand that pancakes is kind of an American thing, or if they even know that they're in America. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that we've fallen so far from, 9/11 when we all pulled together after the Twin Towers fell. We've fallen so far from people just being patriotic and loving their country and wanting to be a part of something that's amazing. That we have someone on TikTok talking how cringe it is for people to stand up during the national anthem, which they couldn't even identify. Like it's some kind of badge of honor. So anyways, guys, that's my show for tonight. I know it's a quick one, but I did one earlier this week and I'm very tired and I have to get to sleep. So, but I know it's short. Hopefully that means more people will watch it. I think I'm going to kill the Wednesday night broadcast. I think what I'm going to start doing is maybe doing either a Monday night one, because I got a lot of views for the Monday night one. So what I think I might do is I might be doing back-to-back shows. I might do a Sunday night or a Sunday morning and then a Monday night show. I don't know yet. I'm going to talk to a couple of my friends, some of my YouTube friends, and then I'll just make the decision that way. But hope you guys are having a great evening. I hope everything's going fine for everybody. Guys, please have a wonderful, wonderful week. Make sure and watch out for each other. Make sure and do good things. Spread the word. Spread the love. All of it, guys. Peace out. You have a good night.